Hello everyone and welcome back. Today I'm going to be trying out the latte makeup look that has been very popular over on TikTok. As you can see from the inspo photos on screen, the tones used are very golden and bronzy, and the queen of these types of makeup looks is Tanielle Jai, who has been one of my favorite makeup artists for years. I've recreated some of her makeup looks on my channel before. I've learned and taken a lot of inspiration from her, and I'm excited to be doing it again today. And right before I started filming, she posted a TikTok tutorial on how she likes to achieve the latte makeup look. So I'm going to be trying out some of those techniques today. So before we get started, I would love for you to subscribe if you haven't already, and let's get into it. In her TikTok tutorial, she goes in with the iconic London Radiance Booster in a darker shade to kind of do like an underpainting situation. I only have a light shade for me, so I'm just going to directly go in with the e.l.f. Halo Glow in shade 4. And I'm just blending that out with my Rose Ink number 3 brush. And she emphasizes that the important part of this makeup look is the monochromatic caramel tones. So no pink or red at all, just kind of yellowy, golden toned makeup. So now that that's on, we're going to be jumping right into bronzer, and I'm going to be using my Nars Laguna 2 bronzing cream. It's my most yellow leaning bronzer that I have, and we're going to be using this as contour like she does in her video. So we're putting this kind of everywhere. I'm going to start off with this same brush, but then I'm going to use a smaller one once we get into like the eye section. So I'm just gonna map it out. Wowza. That's a lot more pigmented than I remember. oh my god. We're gonna be a super bronze goddess today. That's okay. So on the forehead, around here. She didn't opt for any foundation in her video. I might, we'll see what happens with the concealer, but I might want more of a flawless finish to my own skin. That's a good tone. I now fear that I might look like ketchup and mustard, which I guess mustard has been trending on TikTok again too. It's like sold out everywhere. It's ridiculous. What is our world? Now I'm taking a little bit of this bronzer and I'm going to put it here like she does, kind of right under the brow, and then here. I forget to do this step, but sometimes it's really nice to like bring up the intensity of some looks. Just gonna pat that in a little bit. And she also puts some on the eye right here. And this is my BK Beauty A501 brush I'm using to do this. I'm just gonna wing that out. I had a phase where I'd put contour here every day, and it does do a nice little lifting action. And she also puts this around her lips, which I've never done this before, but I trust her with my makeup life. So we're gonna try it. She puts it on her cupid's bow, kind of like around the lip here, and also underneath of her eyes. Okay, and then she's like, you can finish there if you're a minimal makeup wearer. I look bonkers right now. Now I'm going to add some correction and some dimension with concealer, and I might be a little bit more generous than she is. And I used my Lancôme all over concealer in the shade 250 Bisque Warm. If I seem a little off in today's video, it's because I am. I've had a really hard week. I don't know how long you've been here watching my channel, but you might know about Francois. He's made an appearance in a few of my brow intermissions, and he's always on my Instagram stories. He's a wild bunny who has been coming to visit me for 3 years now. He's always in my front yard. He makes me feel like a little Disney princess, and I obviously built up quite a bond with this bunny. I've never fed him or anything, but he shows up every day, and sometimes I just sit with him and chill with him. But he has gone through something terrible. I believe he was maybe hit by a car or something, and his arms are broken. So I've been trying to get him to a wildlife sanctuary to help him. It's been a really awful, heartbreaking week for me, and it's still unresolved. He's honestly like a little bit of a pet to me, even though I don't take care of him at all. I just chill with him and look at him with loving eyes. So yeah, having an awful week with that. But now let's move on. She says that she often likes to use MAC Cork lip liner on the eyes. So that's kind of cool. It's a really, really nice shade. I have it here. It's a yellowy brown, like so. I'm just gonna put on a little bit of eye primer because I have oily eyelids and this might not make it without it. Send out good vibes for our friend François. I've been doing everything that I can to get him at the wildlife center. It's just, I have bad luck with timing because whenever they show up, he leaves. It's hard to control a wild animal. And she puts this Cork lip liner all the way around the eye. So she starts down here, brings it up a little bit, and she also brings it all across her upper lash line. And she also brings it up into her crease and kind of on the outer corner. So now I have to quickly, well, I guess it's a lip liner. It's gonna stay a little bit creamy. So I'm gonna just blend it with this brush I was working with, the bronzer. That is really, really pretty on the eye, isn't it? So now that we have like the cream bases down, she then goes in with kind of yellow toned eyeshadows. She actually specifically mentions these browns right here from the Melt Cosmetics Gemini palette. You're looking for shadows that almost lean mustardy. And I also thought the Natasha Denona gold palette would be awesome for this. Yeah, see? So like it has those tan shades that don't have any pink or red in them, really. I think I'm gonna use the Gemini palette because she mentions it specifically. And this is my Rephr 27 brush, and I'm going to use the shade Polka Dot. I feel like that shade is a little bit closer to what I was envisioning. And she takes this kind of up into the crease, kind of everywhere we place this, just kind of smoking it out. And she says that she loves to smoke out the inner corner like so, which is something I don't think I've ever really done. And she says that this opens the eye up nicely and it makes it just look really smoldery and sexy. And I like to emphasize my eyes a little bit more by adding depth right on the outer corner. So I'm just doing that by layering more of that polka dot shade from this palette, just to increase that depth. And because I feel like this is a little intense, I'm just gonna pat over with my beauty blender that has a little concealer on it, just to take that down a little bit. I'm trusting the process, but there's a few things here where I'm like, I feel like I like my normal routine a little bit more, but it's fun to experiment with new techniques. And I kind of want to add a little bit of a shimmer, so I'm going to use this one from the gold palette. This one looks cute. And I'm going to use a little bit of my MAC Whisper of Gilt highlighter to highlight my inner corner a little bit. She does add this, and she says that you shouldn't add something super, super stark, something kind of closer to your skin tone. I guess that is a little bit more stark than I remember, but I like it. Speaking of starks, I freaking miss Game of Thrones. And I'm going to go in with a lot of mascara, like she says, and I'm using my Rare Beauty mascara. She doesn't seem to use any blush in this video, which is illegal in my books, so I am going to add a little bit, but it's still going to be on tone, my M Cosmetics Rococo blush. I feel better about my life now that I have a little bit of blush on. Now I'm just gonna quickly do my brows and I'll be right back. I feel like this would be really pretty on the eyes too. And I was right. I feel like I needed a little bit more oomph here. I was so right about that. This is going to be very unnecessary, but I want to see what it looks like. I'm going to use my MAC Skinfinish Sunstruck Matte Bronzer in the shade Light Golden. I don't know if I know I don't need any more bronzer, but I feel like it would be pretty. That was pretty. It kind of softened everything out a little bit. I'm just gonna put on my little beauty marks. Whoa, that was not little today. That's okay. And I'm also going to go ahead and set the center of my face using my Kosas Cloud Set in the shade Feathery. It's just a little too shiny in the center for me. And I also have to set my under eyes a little. I'm using that same powder, just with a smaller brush. This is an old Melt Cosmetics brush that they don't carry, unfortunately. But it's just like a basic blending brush. Okay, I see it coming to life now. For a moment there, I was like, oh boy, these techniques are not for me. But it's coming around. I see the vision. Now for lips, she mentions that Cork and Oak from MAC are her favorites for this type of effect. I think I might mix the two of them because I feel like Oak is too light and Cork is too dark. So I'm gonna start with Cork, the one that we used on the eyes. And I'm going to do a little overlining like I usually do. And I'm just gonna do my normal lip map. So what I like to do is overline the center of my lips just to make them look more doll-like. So I overline the bottom too. And then I go on the inside of my lip, on the outskirts, on the side here. And I'm just gonna do the same thing with Oak on top of it just to kind of soften it out. And for the center of my lip, I feel like it's the Victoria Beckham Posh Gloss in the shade Tanline. I feel like it's fitting. Let's see if it is. Oh yeah, perfect. And since my main reference photo has freckles, I want to add actual faux freckles. So I'm going to do that quick with Freck. And here is the finished makeup look. It was kind of a fun way to go about it. I feel like I was jumping around the face a lot compared to my normal routine, which was fun. It switched up the steps. I will say this look really came together in the last like 2 final steps. I don't feel like mustard and ketchup, so that's good news. I actually feel like a bronzy goddess, which is the whole point of this makeup look. Here's the look zoomed out. There's a lot of qualities that I do like, but I feel like the monochromatic caramel tones makes me look a little bit washed out or something, or like a little bit maybe ill. I don't know if I'm in love with the tones, but the overall look and vibe is really, really cute. I feel like I just need a little bit more blush. I think that's the issue here for me. Let me know how you feel about it in the comments down below. But there's a few techniques here that I would like to play around with. I really like the smoking out of the inner corner here. It brings so much more attention and brightness to the inner corner highlight. I love that. And I agree that it opens the eye in a fun way, but that's going to be it from me. I really hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, make sure to give it a thumbs up. I will link everything I used in the description down below, so feel free to check that out, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye guys!